I'm so thankful to be here and to be moving with you. Let's go onto our back to start. So coming onto your back, you can put something under your head. You can put a blanket under your shoulder blades to lift them a little higher so your ribs can come down. But start with the soles of your feet together and your knees open out to the sides. And just start to tune in to your body and your breath. Becoming present with your feet to your knees, with your knees to your hips, with your fingers to your elbows, with your elbows to your shoulders. And then reach your arms straight out to your sides with your palms face up. And you can feel free to switch the position of your feet. So if you want to work a little bit farther away or a lot farther away or a little bit closer to your hips, but every angle hits those muscles in a different way. And oh, I just moved a little farther away. And I can definitely feel how that's different when it comes to my adductors, my inner thigh muscles. Take a few more breaths here, just becoming really present with your body, really present with your breath, letting go of outside distractions, and coming into being right here, right now with your body. And then lift your knees up, grab your strap, wrap your strap around the ball of your right foot, and we're going to do this whole series like this. So wrap the strap, extend your left leg long, keep tilting the bottom of your buttocks towards the floor. Now for a long time I've said your thigh bone, but I've realized that people can push their thigh bones down and still have the pelvis tucked under. So you're tilting the bottom of the buttocks towards the floor as you pull back on your foot, and try to straighten the leg as much as possible. If it's getting that very subtle knee bend, lengthen a little more, or lower the leg so you can straighten it a little bit more. And then notice your ankle. Does it twist to one side or the other? Center your foot, and then rotate your thigh bone out, keeping your ankle right over your knee and right over your hip. And reaching long through your inner thigh, through your outer thigh, through the back of the leg, through the front of the leg, and breathing here. And just look for anywhere. If you tend to clench, rotate your thigh bone in. And it's okay if it doesn't go very much. It's actually not supposed to go a ton. So rotate your thigh bone in. If your thigh bone's going a lot, really make sure your pelvis is tilted into neutral and your ankle is in neutral before you rotate. But just notice clenching anywhere. I mean, it could be deep in your inner thigh, deep in your buttocks muscles. It could be around your shoulders, because they're holding onto the strap, but there's a part of your deep inner shoulders that's clenching that doesn't need to be. And then let's switch feet. So wrap the strap around the ball of your left foot, extend your leg nice and long, pull down on the ball of your foot, tilt your bottom buttocks down towards the floor, center your ankle. It's not the case for everyone, but some people, their inner arch tends to just slightly go down. So you're pressing up so that the top of your foot looks straight across. And it might be that you just scan your body and the areas of tension keep changing. That's what happens sometimes. There might be areas of tension that it's like, oh, this area just tends to stay there. Don't get stuck on one area. I mean, definitely give those areas attention. See if they can relax for a moment, but then keep moving your awareness around your body. Like check in with your bottom leg, check in with the sides of your waist, your belly. And then rotate your thigh bone all the way one way. You can, I'm doing external rotation first, but if you want to start with internal, that's okay. Try to lengthen up through that inner thigh, outer thigh, back of the thigh as much as possible. Breathing. And then rotate the thigh bone internally. All right, release that leg. And then between angles, which we're gonna change up, we'll do something a little different. Bend your knees, lift your hips up. You can put your block on the lowest height underneath your sacrum. You can go one height higher, but if this is the first time you're really moving today, probably stick with the lowest height, and then extend your right leg long. Notice where your foot flops to. Just try to hold it a little bit more so your toes are up in the air, but without forcing. You're trying to let that hip and the thigh relax as much as possible. Flip the palm of the right hand up towards the ceiling, and then gently pull back on your pinky finger. Breathing. And then pull your ring finger down and back. And then pull your middle finger down and back. Pull your pointer finger down and back. Kind of with each finger, you're taking a breath, scanning your body for tension. Pull your thumb out to the side and down. Check in, can you lengthen that bottom leg a little more? And then let's switch. Bend the knee, extend the opposite leg. Feel that leg nice and long. Toes mostly point up into the air, and then flip the palm of the hand up towards the ceiling and pull your pinky finger down and back. And your ring finger. And your middle finger. And your pointer finger. And your thumb out to the side and down. And then release and bend that knee. Lift your hips up, pressing equally through the soles of your feet. Slide the block out from under your hips. Grab your strap and wrap it around the ball of your right foot. Pull back on the ball of that foot. Maybe extend your left leg long. Keep tilting down from your bottom buttocks. and then open that leg out to the right. And you can put your elbow on the floor like I do, you don't have to, but you don't want the left side of the body rolling up off the floor. So even if it feels like a bigger stretch, keep the anchor of the left side of the body down. As the leg opens to the right any amount, pull back on the ball of the foot. If the ankle's twisted, untwist. You'll start to recognize, oh yeah, my ankle always seems to twist a lot, so it becomes a part of the body that you always want to pay attention to. And then it doesn't matter to me which way you go first, but go ahead and rotate the thigh bone in one direction. And just feel like you are both lengthening and relaxing, if that's possible, or to the best of your ability. And breathing, always breathing. And then rotate your thigh bone in the other direction. And these might be like minuscule movements, so tiny that the eye can barely even see. I mean, it just kind of looks like I went back to where I was originally, but I'm just turning like a tiny bit more. All right, pull that leg up and let's switch sides. So put the strap around the ball of your left foot, tilt your lower buttocks to the floor, pulling down on the ball of the foot, and then open that leg out to the side. If this starts to happen, no matter how small, don't go so far out to the side. One of the reasons that it's pulling the side of your body up is because you're holding tension in this leg. So the more you relax it, the more the other side of the body will stay down. But be patient, work within your boundaries. You'll get better results in the long run. Check on your ankle. Check on your knee. Does it always want to soften and bend? Check on your clenching. And then rotate the thigh bone one direction. And then rotate the thigh bone in the other direction. And then pull back on the ball of the foot and bring that leg up and release. Okay, you're gonna scoot your hips a big hop over to your left or two and do a 2-knee roll to your right. For whatever reason, people's knees ends up down here, and that's okay. But for today, bring them up in front of your hips as much as you can. Slide your ankles forward under your knees. Bring your hands in front of you. Try to stack your top hand on top of your bottom hand, and then roll open from your waist and your rib cage. But if your bottom knee lifts up a little or your top knee becomes separated, you went too far. You don't want to force your knees down and together. You would just want to then let them relax. Learning to move within boundaries is just such an important part of creating muscle balance. And it's hard sometimes, and it's humbling because it's like, oh, I can go a little farther. Oh, what's the big deal if my knees lift up a little bit? But you're missing small ranges of motion when you do that. Twist, open. And if you can't resist, then you do a few and you let your knees come up a little bit, but then you become a little bit more precise with your body. And bring that arm back, push down through your right elbow, lift your left leg first to unwind, scoot your hips to center, scoot them a big hop to the right, and then do a 2-knee roll to the left, knees in line with your hip, ankles forward under your knees, stretch both arms straight in front of you, and then try to keep your legs relaxed but stable, and only roll your right arm open and your rib cage open, so you're mostly moving from your rib cage so much that your left knee doesn't lift up off the floor and your right knee doesn't separate from your left knee. And bring that hand back down. And if your knees don't touch to begin with, put a block or something or a pillow between your knees so you have that feedback, so you stay touching the block or the pillow. Smooth inhales and exhales. Let's do one more like this. And just feel free to pause at any angle, reach out, lengthen, and then push down through your left elbow, bring your right leg back up, and let's do the last set with the strap. So wrap the strap around the ball of your right foot, extend your left leg long, nice straight leg, take that leg across the body. And breathing here, check the twist of the ankle. So the plants that I had in my previous place, I ended up putting in my kitchen now. So I am looking for new plants, and hopefully I'll have some within the next week or two. All right, rotate your thigh bone in one direction. A little goes a long way. Keep straightening, keep breathing. You know, you just never know what your muscles are gonna do and what spot you hit. When we were out to the side, I was even getting a little shaking going on in some deep hip muscles. And then rotate your thigh bone in the other direction. And mine doesn't really feel like it goes much at all. When I try to force, my ribs start to thrust up. So you start to see different muscle compensations happening. And then go ahead and pull that thigh bone up and switch. So extend the right leg nice and long, pull back on the ball of the left foot, and take that leg across the body, any amount. Breathing, straightening the leg, relaxing. And then rotate the thigh bone in one direction. And then rotate the thigh bone in the other direction. And keep lengthening, keep unclenching if you have things clench up. Don't keep your mind stuck on one area. Try to also scan the rest of your body, because sometimes relaxing one area can help relax the area that is feeling really tense. Or sometimes relaxing one area can wake up an area where you're not feeling much. All right, pull back on the ball of that foot, bring that leg up, and you can place that strap to your side. And then from here, grab your block. We'll use it on the second highest height. Put it underneath your right foot. You can be pretty close to your hips. You just want to keep tilting your lower buttocks down instead of having it lifted up. And then cross your left ankle over your right knee and keep tilting your lower buttocks down as you open your left thigh away from you. With your hands by your sides, reach your arms up and over, thumbs go to the floor, and pinky fingers come back down. And up and over with the thumbs, and pinky fingers back down. Up and over with the thumbs, and pinky fingers back down, and up and over with the thumbs, and pinky fingers back down. And then from there, uncross your ankle, slide that block over so it's underneath your left foot. Put the foot up on the block. You can do the heel, but either, ground your foot or flex your ankle. Don't just be somewhere floppy in between. And then from there, cross your right ankle over your left knee, tilt your pubic bone, your tailbone down, and then let that thigh open up away from you. This time, instead of up and down, let's reach our arms out to the sides. You can hover over the floor or touch your thumbs to the floor and rotate. So if you're not sure of the rotation, bring your hands into the air with your palms facing behind you and your thumbs out to the side. You open and keep that rotation and go up and down by your sides. Check, are your hips rolling to one side? Center them. Smooth inhales and exhales. As you reach out through your armpits, your upper back muscles, your chest muscles, all at the same time, relaxing any unnecessary clenching from your fingers to your elbows to your shoulders. All right, and then next time your arms come down, uncross, you can move the block out of the way. And then from here, we're gonna roll onto the right side of our body. And you can use something under your head. You can use your arm under your head. You can lift yourself up onto your elbow, but you're gonna stretch your legs nice and long, gently flex your ankles. And from here, we're gonna do some leg lifts. So ankles flex, in particular the top one, and slowly lift and lower. Now it's common as you lift and lower that the hips will wanna roll back or roll forward. More common is back. So try to keep the sides of the hips or the hips stacked, the sides of the hips stacked, that's correct, as you lift and lower. And if you haven't done these in a while, it's definitely something that feels pretty strong when you haven't done it in a while. Okay, so you're gonna slide your top leg slightly forward. So it's like your heel lines up with your toes or your heel overlaps your toes. And you're gonna lift that leg slightly in front. As you lift, reach long. And now you're gonna slide the foot back so it's like your toes overlap your heel, and you're gonna lift and lower the leg slight behind. And it just works. Different areas of your hips, different areas of your buttocks muscles in particular. You might feel a little work in the back side of your buttocks when your top leg is slightly behind. Now, if you get tired, rest. Rest more than use momentum, because a lot of times when you get tired, this is what it starts looking like the body just wants to go faster because it doesn't feel like it has the energy to do any more. Let yourself rest. All right, from there, grab a dome, a block, whatever you have, and slide it underneath your rib cage. A pillow works great here, kind of right below your armpit, and let your head rest down either on another pillow or your bottom arm. Reach your top arm into the air, and you're gonna reach overhead, straight overhead. You can touch the floor or your hand. You don't have to, you're just reaching over. And then you're bringing your arm back up. And the second time you're gonna reach over, but you're gonna reach slightly in front of you. See how I'm reaching in front of that top corner of the mat? So you're going up and overhead, and you're going up and slightly forward. And up and overhead and up and slightly forward. Let's do one more like that, those two different angles. All right, and then from there, slide that block out, come back down onto your arm or your elbow, and this time we're gonna turn our top foot so our toes just like lift off our bottom foot. We're externally rotating. Try not to let your top hip roll behind you, and you're gonna lift your leg and lower it from this rotation. And lift and lower. Okay, now switch. Turn your thigh bone in so your heel leads the way instead of your toes. And lift and lower from there. All right, let's go all the way over to our other side. So you can roll over to your other side, or you can spin around to your other side. And laying down, making your head comfortable on your elbow, your arm, or a pillow. And first, just flexing your ankle and straight up and down. Toes point straight ahead. Reaching out through your inner thigh, your outer thigh, the back of the thigh, the front of the thigh. And then you're sliding that foot just a little bit forward and lifting and lowering from there. All right, and you're sliding that foot a little bit back and lifting and lowering from there. Last one, lift, reach, reach, reach. Great, grab a block, a pillow, a rolled up towel, stick it underneath your rib cage, lay over, let your head rest down any amount, and bring that top arm into the air and reach overhead and back up and slightly in front and up and reach overhead and up and slightly in front and up. Reach overhead and up, slightly in front and up. Reach overhead and up, slightly in front and up. Let's do one more set. Reach over and reach in front. And then the hand comes down, whatever you have under your ribs slides out. You get your upper body comfortable again, and then you externally rotate. Try not to let your top hip roll back a whole bunch, just your thigh bone. So you're leading with your toes as you go up and tap down. And And then rotate in and lead with your heel. And then relax. Okay, push yourself up. Come onto your knees. Cross your right knee behind your left knee. Split your lower legs apart. Come on down to your forearms, or you can put blocks under your hands and try to keep your knees all the way grounded as you just go back and forward with your hips. And then switch, put your left knee behind your right knee and split your lower legs apart and go back and forward with your hips here. And then uncross your ankles, and from there, let's stand up on our knees and step our right foot forward into a low lunge. Press your pubic bone slightly forward, and then we'll have our arms out like cactus arms, and we'll twist our belly button to our right. We're gonna go to the right every time towards our front leg. Untwist. You can do elbow to elbow, hand to hand, or you can do right elbow on top and twist to the right and unwind. And then from there, reach your arms out to the side, turn your arm bones internal rotation, so palms face behind you, thumbs down, and twist your belly to the right and unwind. And then from there, go back to cactus arms and rotate them down and twist your belly to the right and unwind. Slide back, lengthen that right leg all the way. You can use blocks, 1 or 2, to lengthen, flex the ankle, hips go back, hips square to face straight ahead. You can play with subtly changing the rotation of your thigh bone and stay in any of those rotations. And then let's switch. Slide the right knee back, step the left foot forward, press your pubic bone forward gently, arms into cactus arms. Every time we twist, we go to the left, twist the belly button to the left. Unwind, you can do elbow to elbow, hand to hand, or left arm on top of the right arm, and twist to the left, nice and steady feet. Untwist, reach your arms out to the side. So we're not gonna do internal, we're gonna turn external rotation. You're trying to turn your thumbs behind you as much as you can with your palms face up, and twist to the left and unwind. Go back to cactus arms, flip them down and twist your belly button to the left and unwind. And then you can just stretch your arms up, release your hands down, tuck your back toes. Oh, we're gonna go for the hamstring stretch. Sorry, extend that left leg long. You can use a block, 1 or under one hand or 2. Flex your ankle. Notice if your ankle twists to one way or the other. You can slightly play with the rotation of your thigh bone. Try to relax your belly so your tailbone tilts a little bit more up into the air. Breathing here, feeling, enjoying your body. And then from there, tuck your back toes under and push down to step up. Okay, put that block in front of, or your rolled up towel in front of your right foot. Put the ball of the foot up, your heel down. You can step your outside foot forward any amount. Reach your arms out to your sides, palms face down, flip your wrist down, flip your wrist up. Wrist flip down and up. Wrist flip down and up, and wrist flip down and up. Hold up, reach out, turn and look over your right shoulder, and turn and look over your left shoulder. Bring your head back to center, right ear tips to right shoulder, and left ear tips over to left shoulder. And keep extending your wrist as you drop your chin down to the center of your chest. Reach out, extend the wrist, breathing, and then slowly bring your hands down, lift your head up, and switch feet. Ball of the left foot goes up, outer edges of feet straight, right leg goes forward or back any amount. Reach your arms out, but this time when you're flipping your wrist, try to keep your thumbs reaching out and stretching out the whole time. So wrist flip down, thumbs out, wrist flip up, and wrist flip down, and up, wrist flip down, and up, wrist flip down, and up, and then flip the wrist down, keep holding, turn and look over your left shoulder, and turn and look over your right shoulder. Notice your ankles tend to roll to one side or the other. Center the balls of your feet. Bring your head back. Left ear tips over to left shoulder. And right ear tips over to right shoulder. And then bring your head up and drop your chin down to the center of your chest. Relax the back of your neck, breathing. And then bring your head up and release your arms down. Okay, let's combine. We did a little bit of this last week. You can skip any part of it if it feels like too many things at once, but bring the backs of your hands together as much as they'll touch. Maybe the thumbs come together. Watch if the fingers tend to go to one side. Push down through your left leg. Do a top of the foot stretch. Notice if your ankle goes out to the side. Try to center it as long as it's not painful. You're checking on your standing leg, hips over heels. Hip hug in so everything is stacked. And then from here, drop your chin down to your chest and turn and look to the left and turn and look to the right. Bring your head back to center, bring it up. If your hands need a rest, now's a good time. Otherwise, push down with the edge of your right foot straight. Tuck the top of your left toes under. Watch if your ankle always tends to roll out to the sides. Maybe your hands drop a little lower if they don't come apart, or you slightly adjust your fingers. Drop your chin down to your chest, and this time, slowly tilt your left ear towards your left shoulder. And then tilt your right ear over to your right shoulder. And bring your head back to center and bring your foot forward. Okay, from the top of the mat, feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Sit back into your chair pose. Today you can bring your hands down first, or you can keep your right leg forward and just step your left leg back into a lunge and then bring your hands and knee down. So you can do those different variations, but we're all gonna stand up in our low lunge here, ribs relax down and back, and we're gonna do some head ramping. How about your elbow pit? How about wrapping your elbow pits forward as you let your head go forward with gravity and just slide your ears back over your shoulders with a long back of the neck. And then your hands can come down to the floor or to a block. Either way, thumbs spread out, elbow pits wrapping forward. Tuck and lift and lengthen through that back leg. You can check that you're using the whole ball of your back foot, the front of your edge of your front foot is straight, and then bring your hands inside your right foot and walk halfway around to the left. Parallel your feet, back your weight up into your heels. Push down through the backs of your legs to come up to stand. Take your right arm up and over side bend, and then your left arm up and over side bend. Working on edges of feet straight, hips over heels, as you go side to side at your own pace, being present with your breathing, feeling into all the little different areas of your body. All right, next time your right arm goes up and over, you're just gonna move your arm. It goes forward and back a little, forward and back a little. Any cracking or popping like I just got, you do less range of motion. Forward and back a little, forward and back a little. Now hold and move your rib cage forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Pull yourself up, take your left arm up and over, and that arm reaches a little forward and back. If you feel like popping in the joint, don't go so far back. Forward and back, forward and back, and forward and back. And then rotate your ribs forward and back. Rotate your rib cage forward and back. Rotate forward and back. Rotate forward and back. Bring that arm up, cactus arms, elbows slightly forward. Sit back into your squat, slide your shins back, and press up. And sit back, slide your shins back, press up. Sit back, slide everything back, press through the whole sole of the foot. Sit back and hold, turn and look to your right, and turn and look to your left. Head back to center, right ear to right shoulder, and left ear to left shoulder. Head back to center, drop your chin down to the center of your chest, and then lift your head up, press up, straighten your arms out, hands come down, right toes turn out 90 degrees, back to cactus arms. You can do them together, or you can cross your right arm on top. From here, wrap or full wrap, bend into the right knee, warrior two on the right side. Turn and look over your right shoulder. Turn and bring your head back to center. Drop your right ear over to your right shoulder. Bring your head back up. Drop your forehead to your hands. Good opportunity to check. Are you using more parts of the sole of your foot? And then bring your head up. Unwrap your arms. Reach them out, palms up. Slowly straighten your leg. Turn your toes in. Fold over your legs halfway. Back your weight up into your heels. Shift your hips to the right. And shift your hips to the left. Shift your hips to the right. And shift your hips to the left. Come back to center, fold all the way down. Walk back around to your right foot at the top of the mat. Put your left knee down. Slide your right knee back to meet it. Spread your thumbs out towards each other. Wrap your elbow pits forward. Just notice, do your thumbs keep curling in? Do parts of your hands cup off the floor? It says a lot about what's going on in your shoulders, just like with what's going on in our feet relates up to our hips. Let's do some rhomboid push-ups here. So sometimes it's really good to really pay attention to what your hands are doing. Belly relaxed, tailbone in the air, feet actively pressing down. As you go up and down, breathing. Feel the upper back get wide. All right, bring your forearms down to the floor. Reach your right hand over in front of your left hand. You can do palm down, you can do pinky finger down, or you can do palm up. Check your ribs. Do they thrust to the floor? Curl them up. You can turn your other forearm in and rest your head on it. Feet as wide as knees. Notice, do you roll to the big toe side of your foot? How about putting a little bit of twist so that you're feeling the whole top of your foot? And then switch. Right elbow under the shoulder, left arm reaches across, palm down or thumb up or palm up, and breathing here. Smooth inhales and exhales. And slide that hand back. Okay, come onto your hands and knees. Wrap your elbow pits forward. Think of top of the rhomboid push-up. And then we're gonna keep our left knee bent, or excuse me, our right knee bent. And you're gonna lift up and tap down. When you lift up, try not to let your ribs thrust forward. So keep your ribs lifted as you lift the legs straight up and tap and lift and tap and lift and tap and lift, hold, reach up through the back of the thigh, top of a rhomboid push-up, and cross that knee behind your other knee, split your lower legs. You can come down to your forearms if you want and shift your hips a little bit side to side here, a little bit right to left. All right, unwind, stand up on your knees and step your right foot forward, tuck your back toes under and press down to step up. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Sit back into your chair pose. Now you can fold your hands to the floor first or just step your right leg back and then bring your hands and knees down together. We're all going to come up into a low lunge, pubic bone forward with a few head ramps. Don't purposely push your head forward. You're just letting it go forward a little bit and the work is on the way back, kind of like the rhomboid push-up. You let your ribs drop down and the work is sliding back. Lengthening the back of the neck, breathing. All right, hands come down to the floor or block, elbow pits wrap forward, tuck your back toes, lift your knee, lengthen nice and long there, breathing. And then hands come inside your left foot, walk halfway around to the right, parallel your feet, back your weight up into your heels, push down through the backs of the legs. So we're going to take our right arm up and over and we're going to do our arm forward, back, rib cage forward, back. Left arm goes up and over, arm goes forward and back, rib cage forward and back. Right arm goes up and over, arm goes forward and back a little, rib cage forward and back. Left arm up and over, side bend, arm goes forward and back, rib cage forward and back. Come on to cactus arms, rotate them down, and this time let's actually turn our feet slightly out to the sides, squat down, inner thighs open, press up nice and slowly. Squat down, inner thighs open, press up equally through the soles of the feet. And squat down, breathing, and press up, and squat down and hold. Turn and look over your left shoulder. Turn and look over your right shoulder. Bring your head back to center, left ear to left shoulder, and right ear to right shoulder. And bring your head up, drop your chin down to your chest, turn your forearms back up, lift your head up, straighten your legs, reach your arms out, and then keep your left foot turning out. Spin your right toes to turn forward, back to cactus arms, elbow to elbow or left arm on top, bend into the knee, warrior two with eagle arms, turn and look over your left shoulder. Bring your head back, tip your left ear towards your left shoulder. Bring your head up, drop your forehead towards your hands. Good opportunity to check how the feet are working. Feel the weight in the heels, but the balls of the feet gently but equally pressing down. Lift your head up and unwind your arms, flip your palms up, and then from there, slowly straighten the leg, turn your toes in, and go ahead and shift halfway. Maybe work on neutral rotation of your thigh bones as your hips shift to the right and hold. Breathing, relaxing, breathing. Feel your inner thighs kind of pull out away from each other this way too. And then shift your hips to the left and feel your inner thighs pull out away from each other slightly, which helps activate your outer hip muscles. Come to center, come on down, walk around to your left foot, softly lower your knee, slide your right knee back to meet your left foot, and let's go right into those rhomboid push-ups. Breathing here. If your hands tend to be always tucked towards the front edge of your shoulders, walk them back so they're underneath your chest muscles. Wrapping the elbow pits forward, pressing equally through the palms of the hands. And we are going to use a chair or a wall at the end of class. So in a moment when we get up, you can think about where that is if you need to grab it or move to that space. All right, come on down to your forearms. Take your block. You can put it at the lowest height, or if you want to do the second highest height, put it in front of your left hand. Reach your right hand across. You can do palm down, thumb up, or palm face up. Feet ground, hand stays exactly where it is, and you just try to feel like you're pulling your hips back the tiniest little bit. You can let your head relax down. Definitely let your breath flow. And then switch. Slide that block across, palm down, thumb up or palm up. Head relaxes, ribs up if they tend to thrust. Feet active and hip distance apart. I always roll to my big toe, side of my foot. So I'm working on that when the tops of my feet are down. Feels really good. I think it might have something to do with adductors if your feet always pull in like that. All right, slide that hand back. From there, go ahead and come on up. Thumbs spread out, elbow pits route forward, top of the rhomboid push-up, and left knee lifts up and tap down. Hug the right hip in as you lift the left knee up and tap down. And lift and tap and lift and hold. Elbow pits wrap, top of the rhomboid push-up. Right hip hugs in, breathing. Good, cross that knee behind your other knee, split your lower legs. You can come down to your forearms and let your hips rock a little bit side to side. Breathing here. All right, unwind. Stand up on your knees, step your left foot forward, tuck your right toes under, push down. This is where you'll want your chair or your wall. 2 rolled up towels, 2 blocks, 2 books the same height, whatever you have, put them wide in front of your wall or in front of your chair, nice and wide. Put your feet up on them and then bend forward to whatever you have, just halfway or less. Elbows relax down. Push your hips back. So we did this last week and we walked in, but this week we're just going to do a shift side to side here. Breathing. And you can even feel like you're slightly pulling the tops of your thigh bones apart as you go side to side, the same that you would work on external rotation as you go side to side. All right, bring your hips to center, come up to stand, walk your feet in. You can do this with your foot on the seat of a chair, or you can just go ahead and push down through your left hip and try to put your foot on the wall. Try not to use momentum. So momentum would be this. Like, let me get my leg up as high as I can. You're just pushing down and lifting your leg up and seeing like where it can just naturally land. And you might decide, I have to be a smidge closer to the wall to stabilize myself, or a little bit back. And then ground that foot into the wall and back your standing leg thigh bone up as you maybe fold forward a tiny bit. Breathing here. You have to really press through the standing leg. Once I start letting go of my standing leg, that's when my foot on the wall also wants to start slipping. Breathing here. You can just stand up, or you can get a little hinge forward from the pelvis. All right, and let's switch sides. So push down through that outer opposite hip, hug it in. Take your time, put the foot on the wall, really straighten that standing leg. Reach long into that leg, back your thigh bone up, and that might be it. Or you can tip your pelvis forward a little bit. Breathing, keep reaching the heel towards the wall. This side is definitely a little tighter for me, so it's harder for me to back my thigh bone up, which is just cool. I like to discover stuff like that. Breathing. Come on up, take that foot off the wall, stand sideways next to a chair or a wall. It's okay to really use the wall today. Turn the edge of that foot straight. You can see I'm not too close to the wall. Push down through the inside leg. Come into a tree pose, anywhere from foot here to here to here. I don't care if you have it on your knee, just you're not pushing into your knee. Slide it up as high as you comfortably can. Keep your hips facing forward and pull that knee open to the side. So try not to pull the knee open and turn the hips, because the hips turning is a spinal motion. You're trying to purely pull that hip gently open, and if that hip goes towards the wall, your standing leg hip, hug it out, and then reach your top arm, your outside arm into the air. Keep opening that thigh, keep pushing down, and then if you want to lift the other arm into the air, you can. And then bring your hands down and lower your foot down. Okay, so we'll turn around, we'll switch sides. So feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Do use the chair or the wall at first so that you can really focus on the hips. Push down through the leg closest to the wall, slide your foot up. You want to open your thigh without your hips turning open even a little. So keep working on that thigh, push down through the standing leg, and then reach the outside arm up. And just notice if you lose, like your thigh or your hips, if you try to reach your other arm up, and then you would just want to work with one arm for a while. And breathing, or two arms, ribs relax down. Keep opening that thigh up, and then release your hands and release your leg. All right, from here, let's go ahead and we'll come down. You can do this on a chair too, with your foot on the seat of a chair. We did a little bit of this last week, I believe. You're going to sit with your hips a couple feet from the wall, and then you can scoot them forward so they're like a foot or two from the wall. Lay yourself down. You can put something under your head, and then extend your legs up the wall. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and slide that foot down any amount that this doesn't happen. So you're trying to push your bottom buttocks towards the floor as you open your right knee away from you. And breathing here. The wall is such an amazing tool. If you don't have wall space open at your house, make an effort to open some wall just for exercise and movement in general. The wall is amazing. All right, switch. So you can start with your legs up the wall a little bit, cross over. Keep in mind, if your hips are too close, it's going to be really hard to not have your lower back flat, to get your lower buttocks to the floor. And then from there, just see how far you can slide your foot down without your lower buttocks lifting up, and push your thigh bone away from you. Are there benefits to doing it with your pelvis tucked under? Sure, it hits different areas, but for most people in modern culture, we need more of the tailbone tilting down, the lower buttocks tilting down. And then just come back to your breath, come back to relaxing any clenching muscles. Let that thigh open away from you. Enjoy your breath, enjoy your body. Now, I just realized now, looking at my notes, that I was going to do the number 4, the standing version at the wall. And I interpreted it like this because maybe I was still thinking about how we did it last week and it felt really good. So that's okay. All right, we are gonna come out of this, and you're gonna scoot yourself away from the wall, just back onto your mat. Laying on your back, you can have something under your head or not. And then you're gonna come back into a block under your hips with either, you can just kind of time it out for yourself and do one leg at a time, or you can do both legs at the same time. Ribs drop down, maybe just stay here for a moment because this feels nice. Okay, if you're gonna try what I'm gonna do next, start with your right knee bent, and you can bend your knee, lean over to your right a little bit and put the top of the foot down. And so it's kind of like you're doing a quad stretch with the block under your hips. Now this is nice as it is, if it doesn't bother your foot or your knee at all. You could also do it from a higher height. So if you're comfortable turning the block one higher right under your sacrum, you can just do one leg at a time from there. I would recommend probably just one leg so you stay a little bit more stable, and maybe just do that. Stay with one leg for a few breaths, stay with the other leg for a few breaths, let it relax, let it lengthen, and then you could also tuck the top of the foot under from there to the side of the block. Interestingly enough, whether the block is higher or lower doesn't make as big of a difference as one would think. But otherwise, just stay on the lower height. Maybe just both legs are extending at the same time. If you're trying to do this top of the foot flip and your knee dropping down, you can do it from the lower height or the highest height. Don't force anything. Breathing. Front ribs soften down. All right, wherever you are, bend both knees. Lift your hips up, slide your block out. Maybe stick it underneath your head. Let's do a pure twist. Right leg extends, left knee bends. Turn from just the waist and the pelvis. The ribs stay mostly down. You can move that leg a little bit up and down here. All right, let's switch sides. Extend the left leg, bend the right knee, right ribs stay down. Turn from the waist and the pelvis. You can move that thigh bone back and forth a little bit, breathing. And then unwind, and then from there, give both of your knees a hug in. Play with how it feels to just hug them in with your lower buttocks all the way down. And then play how it feels to hug them in with your lower back flat and your buttocks lifting up. And you can choose either one and do a little rock or a little circle. Or just be still and then come into your final pose, Savasana, with legs nice and long, palms flip up by your sides, gaze soften or eyes gently close, and become very present with your body and with your breath. Staying present with your body and with your breath. To open ourselves to the joy of love throughout our lives means accepting the possibility of loss. To be able to love, we need to accept the melancholy of life, the little everyday losses, and the great loss called death. Once we accept that loss, discomfort, and grief are inevitable, life is not so frightening, and we are freer to create loving circumstances in more or all areas of our life. We say hello and goodbye. We feel connected one moment and disconnected the next. Every breath we take connects us to life and then passes before a new breath fills us. Nothing stays the same, not ideas, thoughts, perceptions, and certainly not other people. The flowers on the dining table will wilt in a few days. The clouds will never be the same again. Sadness and joy exist side by side. So don't expect the things and people you love to stay the same. Like breathing air, love is fluid, undefinable, and elusive. We stop the flow the moment we try to hold on to anything, joy or sadness. Learn to look at every day as new with clear eyes and open minds. And I'd like to think that's what we're doing here with our bodies, being open to whatever this day, this moment brings up within us. If you're ready to wiggle or rock or move around a little, feel free to do that. Roll over to one side when you're ready. Take a breath or two there. Just pause and enjoy that moment fully. And then at the end of the exhale, press yourself up to any seated position. Bringing your hands to heart center in gratitude for accepting both joy and sadness in our lives. They go hand in hand. And when we are able to experience the ones that seem unpleasant, the ones that are pleasant become even more vibrant. In gratitude for this day. Namaste.